Good morning or afternoon to you guys, whenever you're watching this video. Today we are going to be moving on to another worksheet. We do have a short day today, so it should give us just enough time for this, as well as a notebook check, which is really important. So I wanted to back up just a little bit to show our last entry, which of course was a mystery mixture analysis. And this, as well as a previous page where we analyze substances, will be part of your notebook check today. So as you're working on the sheet you see down here, mystery mixture elements, your teacher or myself, depending on what class you're in, will be coming around just to check and give you points for the last few notebook sheets you have been working on. So once again, our last entry was a mystery mixture substances where you added different combinations and observed the results to try to get one step closer to what is actually in our mystery mixture. Now today, what we're going to be doing is moving on to mystery mixture elements, which we have done before. And maybe you remember this page from previous classes where we identified the elements. We're going to do the same thing to touch up on this again because the elements in these chemical formulas are really important for what's coming up. Also, I want to talk a little bit about the numbers today because you do see numbers, and last time we mostly skipped over these, although we did talk in a few classes really quickly about them. So your goal for today's worksheet is to use a periodic table and identify the elements that are in each chemical formula. Now, you will have some paper copies of the periodic table. You do have this in your FOSS resource book. We have some hard copies of the resource books in each classroom. And you can always just look up a periodic table like you see here. And of course, we're using the chemical symbols, which are the letter abbreviations, either one letter or two, to find the names of the elements. So if you saw 8P, you would write down phosphorus. So we're of course going to use this sheet that you received today, glue it into your notebook on the next page. For me, that's on page 15. For you, it might be a different page. And just identify each of the elements. Remember that the lowercase letters always go with the uppercase letter before it. So for this first element, capital C, lowercase a, we're looking for a C and an A together. So when we go to the periodic table, we search out a C and an A, and we find it over here, capital C, lowercase a, and the name of that element is calcium. So we would go back to our worksheets and write calcium as the first element, and then we go to the next one, a capital C. There's no lowercase after that, so it's a C all by itself, and when we use our periodic table, we have a capital C is carbon. Now the last one in there was a capital O with no lowercase after it, and we can see that that's oxygen. So we would, on our sheet, write each of those names in. Calcium for the capital C lowercase a, carbon for the capital C, and oxygen for the capital O. Now the numbers that follow elements tell you how many of those elements there are. For this first chemical substance, calcium carbonate, if there's not a number after it, it just means there's just one. So we have one atom of calcium, one atom of carbon, and three atoms of oxygen, or oxygen three different times. So put a 3 either above or before the oxygen to show me that there are in fact 3 of that. And as you go through all of these elements, I want you to do the same. Put the number 2 somewhere, put the number 3 somewhere, 4, 2, and so on and so forth. The best place to put these is right before the element that you're writing in. But if you run out of room in the space, you're welcome to put the numbers above. Just make sure you let us know where in fact those numbers go. When you're finished with this, you can work on anything that you're missing and try to catch up. Today is a short day, and of course, try to have your notebooks ready for your teacher to check.